So we back in insecurity, and got a little quiet in here on Sunday. Just a little quiet. Got a little quiet, and I've learned through a process of years that sometimes quiet is good. Talked about a couple of things. We're going to get into the type of fear that we have in relationships as well. What I like to do, and I know that sometimes you may say, why does he keep saying the same thing over? I like to do a recap of whatever I did the day before, because the mother of all learning is repetitiveness. That redundancy has an ability to sink in, and you may catch something and hear it, and out of the 100% things that I say, you may only walk away, hey, don't do that. You may only walk away with about 30% of it. But if it's a good 30%, you're in good shape. So we talked about what is the problem with that type of fear. What I'm afraid that sometimes fear sits right under control, and people have a tendency to control others, or people have a tendency to try to resist control. Controlling people will never admit that they're controlling, unless you have an intervention with them. Yeah, okay. Because they don't see it as controlling, they see it as their way. This is the way to do it. And we find out on Sunday that there are several ways to get to Art of Living Community Church. You don't just have to take 16. As a matter of fact, you can get here without having to get on the freeway at all. You don't even have to drive, you can catch a bus. Yeah, there are several ways to get here. But people who are controlling they rarely admit that they are controlling. Now, there's a difference between controlling and domineering. Domineering people at times can be kind of quiet until you ask, and then they take over. But controlling people, you don't even have to ask, they just kind of step in and take over. Domineering people just believe that you don't know anything at all. Controlling people believe that you don't know the right thing. It's the person that says, move, you don't know what you're doing, I'll do it. They're dominating people. Controlling people, they'll let you do it, but they'll try to tell you how to do it systematically. This is how it goes. This is how you do that. They're controlling. We found out on Sunday that most people who are controlling, or we said 75% of the time, those people are perfectionists. When God never requires perfection, he just requires excellence. God knows that we are not perfect. We are just striving for excellence. Now, most times, controlling people believe that the rest of the human race are lazy. You lazy. That's why I wouldn't have to do this or say this or take over if you would just, I'm not lazy, you just have a little patience, because most controlling people don't have a lot of patience. They don't. Let's go ahead on and get this done. Let's get this done right now. Let's get this done right away. But you just told me about it. I'm still reading the text message, and you want the results already. Have a little patience. Insecurity causes us to try to control others, and insecurity causes us to try to resist control of others, and that destroys relationship. We talked about a mother and a child, or a father and a child who fight each other for control coming up, and that's why they were always bumping heads and at odds with each other. The daddy would say, I just don't understand that boy, and the mama would say, that's because he's just like you. No, it's not because he's just like you. It's because there are two people who are fighting for control of someone. And the child isn't giving up the fight or the right for control, and nor is the parent. The parent says, well, I brought you into this world. Great, but they still don't belong to you. I didn't mean to say that. You brought them into this world. I'm the reason why Zach is here, but he ain't mine. Yeah. And God says that if I love him more than I love him,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
then that's a sin. The love I have for him becomes
Yeah.
sin.
Yeah.
Okay. But we don't see, I don't see trying to control him as a sin. I see trying to control him as that's my parental duty. It's not my parental duty to try to control him. God, the scripture tells me to raise him
That's right.
in the way that he is supposed to go, to teach him.
Yeah.
And when he get older, he will not depart from it. I cannot control whether or not he stays or how to do. I can't control that right there.
Amen.
But I try, because that's my child, and he my son, and he my blood, and I done paid his bills, and I done bought his shoes, and I done put him through school, and I done did this, and I done did that. I did that because I'm his parent.
That's it.
Come on.
That is my reasonable servants for being a good steward over a blessing that God has given me, but it is not my right to control him. Okay. I knew it was going to be quiet on that one.
All right.
We long to be close, but not too close. We want to be intimate, but not too intimate with others. You cannot get close to somebody if there is fear in a relationship, which is why 75% of the time, living together in the long run, if there's an insecurity in a relationship, living together, it will not last, it will not work. Because one person is waiting on the other person to walk out. There is something that you may do. You never know when somebody, when this day is going to be the last day. Now you'll love them to death and try to get them to stay, but there's always that possibility that they may walk out. So what you do is this: you guard and protect yourself for the day that they do, and you try not to love them as much as you'd like to, because if you love them as much as you like to, and they walk away from you or walk out on you, it's going to hurt even more. And it's why at times sometimes some people with insecurities refuse to love the way that they can. They refuse to love to their capacity. Because these are the type of people that wait for good things to go bad. Yeah. There's no lifetime commitment in a living together situation. It's only a situation where we are willing to stay, or willing to say, I'm committed regardless of what happens. I'm committed. Whether we get along or not, I'm committed. We're going to make this thing work. That will cause fear to vanish. Then intimacy can begin to rise. What we discovered on Sunday is that you can live with somebody and not be close to them. You can be married to them and not be close to them. You can be married to somebody for 15 and 20 years and not be intimate with them. Because when I'm talking about intimacy, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about opening up and letting them in. Now here's another deal. When you are just that insecure, the side of you that you show people isn't all of you.
Amen. Amen.
So when people think they know you, they don't.
Amen.
So when you do something crazy, they're looking at you like, I can't believe that you did that. But you can believe that you did it because you knew you were capable of it. You just never shared that with anybody else. I can't believe that you would say something like that to me. It's always been in them.
Yes.
To say it to you and to anybody else. They just never allowed it to come to the surface. Okay. Now, what do we fear in relationship? Well, we fear a couple of things. We fear exposure. We fear that someone is going to find out what we're really like. We fear exposure. We fear that somebody's going to find out what we really like. So we hide ourselves, and we don't want people to know what we are really like. And this is probably the oldest fear. It goes all the way back to Adam in Genesis 3 verse 10. Adam says, I was afraid because I was naked. So I hid. When we're afraid, we hide ourselves. We cover up. We wear masks. We pretend to be people that we are not. When we have a fear of exposure, just like Adam in the book of Genesis. God says, Adam, where are you? He said, I was hiding. Why? Because I was naked. Who told you?
Right.
God didn't say, well, we say, really, Adam? Really? He didn't say that. He says, or he asks a question rather, who told you that you were naked? And Adam never did tell him who told him. He just started pushing blame. That woman you gave me. Well, Adam was covered up with leaves, with leaves. Because he was exposed and he had a fear of being exposed. So he hid in the place, he hid in plain sight of God. He was hiding in plain sight. And there are sometimes when people have a fear of exposure, we hide in plain sight. We show up, but we hide emotionally. It's why people, it's why, see, what I do is, what I've learned how to do is, or one of the gifts that the Lord has given me, because he hasn't given them all to me. But one gift that the Lord has given me is the gift to read people. I can read people. Sometimes it takes me longer than other times, but I can read people. I sit back, I watch your behavior, watch your mannerisms, I watch what you say. I had to learn how to do it because there was no other way that I could understand children and be successful as a youth pastor without reading them. I had to be able to read them so that I could expose them to the Lord so that, God could change their life. So I had to learn how to read people. So it's just a habit now. I do it, I don't even want to do it, but I'll just be reading people. My wife and I will be sitting up in a place, and I'll be looking at how this lady is kind of turned away from this guy who's so open up to her, and I'll be like, she's not interested in this conversation. Look at her body is turned off from him, and he's talking basically to this whole backside. He's open, she's closed off, but he's buying a drink, so she's not leaving. It's what I do. So what happens? What happens is this. Sometimes when we feel exposed, we hide ourselves in plain sight. I see your face when you walk in here on Wednesdays and on Sundays. How you, that old dog dry look, you be looking at me. You here, but you still hide. You're not here. You're here, but you're not here. You're somewhere else. You're hiding. I've done it. We have a fear. Or what I find very interesting in today's world is that many people are not afraid of their physical nakedness, but they are afraid of emotional nakedness.
That's good right there.
They're not afraid. Women, I get in trouble for saying that. What's the best way to put that? I need your help. Women are not afraid to show all their Cleveland.
Okay.
Like that?
That's good. That's
Cleveland,
good.
like that? Cleveland.
That's good, Pastor.
Cleavage, Cleveland, same thing. But they're afraid to be emotional naked, to be exposed emotionally. Men are not afraid to try to show their best outward features. They're not afraid. But their best inward features, that sometimes they get afraid to show them. Fear of exposure. There are people that walk around half naked. They walk around showing off half of their body parts. That we don't even want to see, but they do it with no shame. You've seen somebody walking down the street and you said this, they wrong for that. You come on, you said it, I've said it, I might still say it. They were wrong for that. I may see a dude and be like, big boy shouldn't have did that. He's representing big dudes wrong. Okay? He's just representing us wrong. Don't. Okay, you got a belly. You have one, great. But we don't need to see all the indentions on it. You can't wear an Under Armour shirt. You can't do it. You can't. You look like a seal. You can't do it. You can't do it. You gotta cut up, lose some weight, or do something. But that's why they make Hanes white shirts to go on. But we've said it. You wrong for that. And we're looking at their out, but they doing it with no shame. Half her belly hanging out from under her shirt. And she just walking like, that's just, she in there. And we looking like, and they just so happy. Well, no, you need to cover that and then, no. But people are not shamed to expose themselves physically, but inwardly we shut down. We build walls. We don't build, you don't see a bunch of people walking around in moo-moos because they're ashamed of how huge and how large they are. No. But emotionally, they have their covers. It's ironic that these things are sacred to death. The problem is that they never want to show emotional nakedness. And I guess that's what really scares them. I don't know. As a result, nobody ever gets to know them, and they don't understand one of the things that God put them on this earth to do, which is to be fully known.
Yeah.
Okay. We may have to stay right here. We're going to have to understand. Let me talk to me, Herman. I'm going to have to understand that the Lord has put me on this earth to be fully known. Jesus didn't, maybe if I do it hip hop, Jesus didn't hide himself from his disciples. He didn't hide himself from people that he preached to in the boat. He didn't hide himself from people that he taught on the mountainside. He didn't hide himself from Sadducees, from Pharisees, from any other. He didn't hide himself from anybody. He was fully exposed of who he said, when you've seen me, you've seen the Father. I am my Father of one. He let it be known that I've been sent here to do this. And you're going to tear this temple down, but it's okay. It's going to be rebuilt in 3 days. I'm telling you, he was fully exposed. He never withheld the word. He never withheld himself. Why do you think that he was able to be around all kinds of people? Because he came here to be fully exposed. There are certain people that I cannot stand.
Amen.
And I'm not really talking about me, but I have to. You know, because folks don't like to be talked about. There's some people that I can't stand. I can't stand to be around them. I don't like their personality type. They're just not my cup of tea. So what I do is this. I purposely not befriend those type of people. And when they try to befriend me, I give them as little of me as possible, hoping that they are offended by the little that I give them and they won't bother me. Especially in church.
Amen.
I don't really like you. I don't know you, but I don't really like you. Okay? You're a little too out there. You're a little too flamboyant for me. Every time you show up, you kind of want to be seen and you want to be known, and I don't really get down. I'm so quiet, and I don't need my name in lights, and I don't need titles, and I don't need what I do to be brought to the forefront. And that's good. That's a great sign of humility, but it does not mean that you should avoid other type of people who do like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And when those type of people come around, we just kind of get quiet. I just kind of get quiet and get to the background, and I let them shine. You want to shine? Take it. You want the light? There it is. Take it. I don't need it. They never know who I am. They showing me who they are. They're fully exposing themselves, that's just a part of their personality. It doesn't make it bad because they're more open than me. It doesn't make it bad because they like to sit in the front and I like to sit in the back. There's nothing wrong with the front row. As a matter of fact, my preachers should be on the front row. But it's empty. So there's nothing wrong with sitting on the front row. But taking the back seat and say, I'd rather just stay in the back where I don't bother nobody and stay out of everybody's way, that doesn't make it wrong for the person who likes to sit on the front row to sit on the front row. The problem is this. I'd rather just close up myself and not fully expose who I am because I can't stand these type of people. You talk too much. So all you do is talk. And you can't stand to hear nobody's voice but your own. And every time I try to say something, you won't even let me get a word in. And I just don't like those type of people. But God said, I put you down here to be fully exposed because I didn't create you in your own image. I created you in mine. So anytime you're fully exposed, I'm fully exposed. Yeah. Anytime you're open, I'm open. Anytime they can reach out and reach at you, that means that they can get at another part of me.
Yeah. That's good.
But what I decided to have, Delia, is a favorite 5 inner circle. And what I live by is this: I don't let everybody in. If you don't let everybody in, you are failing to do what God has created us to do, to let people in. But I just don't let people into me like that. So what happens is when I talk to you, what I say is this: you can ask anybody that know me. Ask them. And I bet you they'll tell you. You shouldn't have to go ask anybody. I should be able to tell you. Because I should know you. Because you should be fully exposed.
Yeah.
to me. But here's the problem with being fully exposed. And don't get me wrong, I understand. Here's the problem with being fully exposed. We're not only fully exposing ourselves to people so that they can see the God that's in us, but we're also fully exposing ourselves to hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
To pain. To danger, it seems.
Yeah.
To persecution. Nobody walking likes to feel vulnerable. Nobody. Not me, not you, not anyone. Anybody who tell you, oh, I'm cool being vulnerable. They lying. They lying. I said it on TV. They lying. Nobody likes that feeling of open exposure, that openness. So here's what I do. I have a group of about 4 or 5 people that I really, really trust. And I can really, really tell myself to and about or whatever it may be. And then everybody else, I just kind of share with them, you know, kind of shallow stuff. But God says, I want you to be fully open. I want I deserve to be fully known. How will I be fully known in the earth without you? I told you in Matthew chapter 6 how to pray. Yeah. Let thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. How can I fully be? I'm already fully known in heaven. It ain't nobody in heaven that don't know me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the people on earth that I'm trying to get to know me.
Yes.
But how can I be fully known if I can't be fully known through you? Now, I'm not always going to be fully known through your mouth. There's sometimes that I want to be fully known through your life.
Come on.
Jesus.
I want people to see me by the way that you live.
Amen.
By the way that you respond. That's why do you think I always have somebody watching you? Let me tell you something. You can't get away with nothing. Let me just tell you that right now. You can't get away with nothing. Try. You can't get away with nothing. Somebody gonna watch you. Somebody gonna say, don't you go to that church? Aren't you a Christian? Did you invite me to this church service? Did you invite me to something? You can't get away with nothing. Because somebody is always watching. The Lord has set it up for somebody to always be watching because he's always trying to be exposed. But I like to say, don't watch me. I just got saved yesterday. Don't watch me. I ain't been in church long enough for you to watch me. Don't watch me. I ain't fully converted yet. Don't watch me. The Lord know my heart. Don't watch me. I'm still being transformed. Don't watch me. Who else are they going to watch?
Come on, make it good.
Somebody come to you and say, hey, I want to be saved. Well, let me invite you to church Wednesday. No.
Come on, Pastor.
They don't have time to wait till Wednesday.
Come on, Pastor.
They need you to deal with them right there on the spot.
That's it. That's it.
Don't try to get people to watch me. Don't watch me, watch my pastor. No, they need to watch you. Because he the one, no. Don't be pushing them this way. No wonder I hear y'all say, man, I don't want your job. Why not? Why you don't want my job? Because you're the pastor. So what are you? You're a Christian. You're still a representative. God is still trying to be known through you. God is still trying to show who he is through you. So what's the difference between you and me? Okay. Everybody deserves to be fully known and to be fully known and to fully know someone else. This has to do with soul-to-soul intimacy. And God designed the family of the church to do this.
Yeah.
God designed the church family, the church of the family, or the family of the church to have soul-to-soul intimacy and to know each other soul to soul.
Amen.
That's why, as much as I've looked, I've never seen soulmate in the Bible. Because I've never read where God designed one specific person for your soul to understand. God designed us for soul-to-soul ministry. Okay. We fear rejection. But there's another fear even deeper. Rejection is the fear that's even deeper than exposure. This may be the greatest fear of all human beings. When we have been rejected at some point. Because we know how much it hurts. Exposure, I can hide as much as I can. But rejection, rejection hurts. We fear it and we close ourselves off and say, I'll never let anybody hurt me again.
Come on.
I just won't do it. I'll never let anybody hurt me again. I challenge those who made the declaration, I'll never let anybody hurt me again. I challenge you to harden not your heart, but rather let the Lord work on your heart and work in those areas that you have been hurt. When we have a fear of rejection, what we do is this: we build walls, and we found out on Sunday that the walls that we build imprison us.
Come on.
While we're trying to keep everybody out, we lock and we trap ourselves in.
Come on.
Because I have a fear of rejection. Now here's the deal. Just like nobody wants to be vulnerable, nobody enjoys the feeling of being vulnerable, it is very few people who actually enjoy the feeling of being rejected.
Yeah.
And as much as we say, oh, it don't matter, I don't care, we lying. It matters.
Amen.
You care. It matters. Everybody sitting in this room has been rejected.
Amen.
Everybody. Probably with the exception of Isaiah and Taylor. But everybody else who has a cognitive understanding of what it is that I'm saying has been rejected. Yes, you've been rejected. You're not with your first love. You either walked away from them or they walked away from you. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the person you love now and married is somebody that somebody else walked away from.
Amen.
Yeah. Somebody rejected them. Yeah. And whomever they rejected, you accepted. You may have been the rejected one, and somebody else accepted you.
Amen.
But all of us have with rejection at some point, on some level, at some level. And the reason why I'm saying it like this is because we're talking relational. You ain't with your first boyfriend or your first girlfriend. Yeah. They either quit you, or you found a reason to quit them. And they found somebody else, and they went on, and they was cool, and you was mad. Oh, that was too fast. How you bounce back like that? That was way, wait a minute. You must already had that in the working. No, I didn't have it in the working. It's just that whenever somebody rejects me, somebody's waiting to accept me. Okay. The problem is this: when we get rejected, we don't build up walls unless they reject our love. We don't. You don't like my idea? Cool. No problem. No problem. Whatever. You don't like my outfit? So what? I don't care. Yeah, it's cool. I like black. You don't like the car I drive? Don't buy one like it. Get your own car. You don't like my neighborhood? Live where you want to live. But when you reject my love, wait a minute. Because I don't put my clothes and my car into my love. I don't put my house in my neighborhood. I don't even put my money into my love. I put myself into my love. So when you reject my love, you're not just rejecting my love, you're rejecting me. Because I don't just love anybody. I like folks, but I don't love everybody. Now, I love, with that agape love that the Lord tells me I'm supposed to love with. But in my mind, even though I can't find it in the scripture, in my mind, I love them, but I'm in love with you. I've been trying to find that in the scripture ever since I've been reading the Bible, the difference between love and in love. I just can't find it. I ain't saying it ain't in there. I'm saying I cannot find it. So in my mind, oh yeah, I got love for them, but I'm in love with you. And when I'm in love with you and you reject my love that I have for you, because I don't just love easy, I love hard. And I put everything I got into loving someone, something, or somebody. And when it rejects me, then I build up a wall and say, I don't say I'll never love again. I say I'll never love like that again. I'll never love like that again. I'll never love another woman like that again. I'll never love another man like that again. I'll never trust another best friend like that again. Because you didn't just reject my love, you rejected me. So I built up a wall, created a prison that I can live in. So now I'm pretty surface with people. I'm pretty surface. We can hang out. I mean, listen, you can tell me all your secrets. I'm not telling you mine. I'm not. You can open up and share, and I promise you I will listen, and I won't. But when I have a wall built up, here's what I don't do. I don't respect your privacy. You tell me your secrets, and here's what I say. Oh, yeah. Listen, come on. I mean, this me and you talking. This me and you right now. It's real talk. We can keep it real. You can be honest with me. And then I hang up and while in casual conversation with somebody else, I say, hey, did you know, I don't respect your privacy. I don't respect your secrets. Because I got a wall built up. And my wall suggests to me that I don't have to respect. Only time I'm going to respect your secrets is when I'm going to respect your dirt is when you know mine. Right. That's when I'm going to respect your dirt. When you know my dirt. That's when I will not expose you and let your cat out of the bag because you know what cat I got in the bag. So listen, I'm hush mouth, I'm tight lipped, zip, Loose lips sink ships. This one is a cruise ship. It ain't sinking at all. When I know your dirt, when I know your mess, I won't tell that you drink when you know that I drink. As far as I'm concerned, don't none of us drink. I won't tell you go out because you know I'll be there too.
Keep it real.
As far as I'm concerned, we don't go to happy hour.
Keep it real.
We go to work, we go to church, we go to special events at the church, and we go home. We go to family stuff, and we go home. That's what we do.
Amen.
You don't tell I smoke, I won't tell you smoke. I won't expose you, you won't expose me. That's when but when I have a wall built up and I don't let any of my intimacy and interpersonalness out, I don't respect your privacy. Your secrets, your dirt, your good or your bad. We're not just living. God doesn't want us to just live. He doesn't want us to just exist. He wants us to live. I want to encourage those people who have built a wall to take a risk. Take a risk and take a chance. Just like, man, if Jesus would build a wall around himself because of us, he'd look like a fort. Fort Knox. Nothing would get out and nothing would get in. Because I don't know about you, but I know I disappoint God. Let me just tell you that right now. He ain't just excited with me. I disappoint him for real. That's why I have to, I pray and I repent and I make sure that I have a good relationship and a good rapport with him. I make sure I have a good relationship with the Word. I don't just know the Bible. I have to know the whole Bible. No, I don't. I have a relationship with the Word.
Come on. Come on, Pastor.
I don't have to know the whole Bible. I just keep reading it like everybody else is doing.
Amen. Come on.
I'm reading it too.